Yes, everybody, we are back for some more Kagurabachi. Shueisha, please don't hit me with the copyright strike. G content, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, we are celebrating the I repeat, 2-year anniversary of Kagurabachi, ladies and gentlemen. Is that not crazy, dude? I did not think that me covering this like meme manga in 2023 and actually getting known for covering Kagurabachi content as like one of the Kagurabachi guys, I did not think it would happen as quickly as it did. I remember people absolutely just like dogging on this manga and shitting on it, and then as time went on, we actually get to see just how revered this manga is within its community and just the overall manga space. Are there areas where it could improve? Absolutely. Everything has room to improve. Nothing that you consume is perfect, but we have some very, very, very good stuff, especially for an author as young as this, a mangaka as young as this. Again, he's my age. I believe he's a year younger than me. To see just how much progress he has made, oh my goodness. I love seeing the artistic evolution of Kagurabachi specifically. I hate the old faces. The old faces used to drive me up a wall with how blocky they were. And Chihiro, funny enough, with his face, it kind of got Doritoed. It's slimmed down a lot, but he's a lot more expressive, especially and when some of these up close shots. The most recent example I can think of is when Samura and Iori actually come to actually bond as father and daughter once again, and actually come to understand that they need each other. And you see Chihiro kind of in the distance wistfully looking, and you know he's happy for them, but he misses his own dad. He misses that. You don't really get to see a whole lot of Chihiro's emotions in the first couple of chapters. First, maybe like 10 to 12 chapters of the manga. Like a lot of it was just angry or blank, but I think probably the most emotive we had seen Chihiro in the early chapters of Kagurabachi was when Yuta first showed up and he confessed to, killing Chihiro's dad, and you have him screaming out, "Why did you kill my father?" Right? Fantastic moment as well. But there are a lot of people that have jumped on the Kagurabachi train, and I'm constantly seeing people on my timeline saying, just now starting Kagurabachi, what manga should I read? Oh, Kagurabachi, got my whole comment section is filled with it. And I'm glad to see it. I know there was some drama recently in the Kagurabachi community. Listen to me good. You will enjoy media you consume 10 times more if you do not interact with the fan. That goes for everything. If you like something, you like it. That's fine. But some of these communities are awful and terrible. Stay away from them. There's also a bunch of talented artists in the Kagurabachi community as well. I see fantastic fan art all the time. There's the one fan note that Hokozono himself reposted on Twitter. It's that hyper-realistic picture. It looks like an old picture that was taken on like a Kodak camera, and it's kind of like slightly out of focus, and it looks great. But just so many fantastic fan arts, fan animations. Of that one fan animation of Sojo versus Chihiro. Ooh, that was juicy, chat. That was so good, dude. Listen. I need the anime to outdo that, and like it shouldn't. I want to say it's not gonna be hard, but it's kind of a higher bar, man, bro. That animation was absolutely fire. I need some good music. I need fantastic sound effects. I need like David Productions, right? The people behind JoJo, those kind of sound effects for the Enchanted Blades and all that. Yes, we've talked about Kagurabachi anime tons and tons before, but just the amount of emotion that this manga has gotten. I haven't talked about some of the stuff that's been happening recently, but it's insane. I remember when Volume 1 came out and it oversold, and people thought like we were done. People like Kagurabachi was like hovering at like last like 5 in the TOC rankings. People were like scared. They're like, oh, bro, we're about to get canceled. Like, what's going on? Oh god! But it came at the perfect time. Jujutsu Kaisen was ending. There was another series that was ending, and I can't remember off the top of my head. My Hero Academia was ending around that time as well, or in the latter stages of My Hero Academia coming out. So obviously, Shonen Jump needed some new powers, some new prodigies to push out, and fortunately we have Ichi the Witch as well as Kagurabachi kind of spearheading the Shonen Jump media right now. Obviously One Piece, until One Piece actually goes away and is actually shelved, it's always going to sell, always, 100%. And as a One Piece enjoyer, I get it, but Kagurabachi came at the perfect time. And so when Volume 1 came out and people actually supported it in mass, I was supporting it, a bunch of your favorite creators were supporting it and bought the volumes, and Shonen Jump was like, oh, Okay. And we thought we were safe from the axe. A couple of times there were some lower TOC rankings, but slowly over time, near the tail end of the Rakuzaichi, so many people were on board with what was happening. And seemingly over the past 2 months, the amount of motion that the manga has gotten is insane. There is in a Batman comic, there's a Kagurabachi variant, or it's straight up a reference from the first volume where Batman is surrounded by a bunch of thugs. He's in that same pose that Chihiro is in, which is already, that was so cool. And then you have some cosigns from these different authors, from Masashi Kishimoto, from Horikoshi last year, and people were like, they thought it was most likely going to be like, oh, well, they're in the same, you know, company, so they have to. And these authors talk to each other as well, so they're like, oh, it's probably a contractual thing. You probably had to. But dude, Hirokoshi actually drawing Chihiro and actually doing an interview, I believe with the New York Times, and talking about some of Hokozono, kind of inspiring some of his perspective shots. If you don't know, Horikoshi is one of the best artists that Shonen Jump has had on their lineup in years. He's a top 5 artist, and he's not 5. Is he 4? Is he 3? I don't know, but Horikoshi is an absolutely fantastic artist. So for him to give Hokozono these kinds of accolades is absolutely insane. And then you have Hokozono drawing Chihiro. By the way, they are working this man to death. They need, I need like a 2-3 week break, please, or bi-weekly. I don't care, bro. He has done interviews. He had to, excuse me. So what happened? He had to go to Anime NYC. The crowd, they did not expect the crowd to be that big, so a bunch of people got to meet him. I didn't meet him. I didn't go to Anime NYC because I didn't know he was going. If he would have, I would have gone. So you have this massive crowd at Anime NYC that I think they had to get like a different room or something like that. They just did not expect as many people to be out there as they did. Then you also have this New York Times interview that he had to do. Then you have, there's been no breaks recently. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. But besides that, no breaks. He's already talked about he's not really sleeping as much. I've talked in depth about how rough some of these manga schedules are. They are absolutely atrocious. I believe Kishimoto, from when I made that video, was working like 110 hours a week. It was insane. So you go from that, we have 3 million copies sold of Kagurabachi as well. I'll go to Barnes and Noble and I'll like glance at the manga stuff, and they very rarely will have like multiple copies of Kagurabachi. They'll have like 1 or 2, but people, they're copying, they're supporting the cause, man. Bro, you have all of this promotion, you have all of these accolades coming to Kagurabachi. I still don't have an anime announcement. I'm hoping Jump Festa. I'm hoping Jump Festa is in what, 2 months? Listen, some people have kind of like tried to leak, you know, Jump Festa lineups and all that. I would not be surprised if there was like a surprise panel. I would not be. There's no, like, we know Psy Games got leaked to be working on it, and like, you know, we haven't heard any inklings of like directors and things of that nature, but it would not surprise me if we get a surprise announcement or like a key visual. That would be fantastic. But not even talking about just influence and the accolades that the story is getting. By the way, I want to say that Horikoshi's drawing of Midoriya is absolutely fantastic. I actually kind of prefer it as opposed to Horikoshi's. Horikoshi's is good. I think the jacket's a little big and kind of gives Chihiro this like hunched over expression, but I love seeing it in Horikoshi's art style because Chihiro looks a lot more sadistic. He looks like a villain, right? Like he looks exactly like what people were making fun of. Like he looks like an evil swordsman. Like, oh, this is the guy we're following, and then you see like all like the tragic background stuff like that. I would love to see the raid on, what is Chihiro's dad's name? Oh my god, dude, I'm blanking. Oh, my uncle status ascended. Oh my god, Rokuhiro. No, it's his last name. Kunishige. I got that, chat. I got that. I would love to see the raid on Kunishige's house and just the despair on Chihiro's face in Horikoshi's art style. That'd be really cool to see personally. But just from where the story has evolved and seeing Chihiro evolve as a character is very, very, very cool. Samura becoming a fan favorite, and the manga actually slowly fixing a problem that I talked about. Its biggest weakness is not giving enough shine to these other characters. I talked specifically about, you know, taking the camera out from in front of Chihiro's face, panning it around, show me everything, and we're getting a lot more of that. Yura's getting some more screen time. We're having more screen time. Uraha, as well as, I almost said Naobito. What the hell? Blade wielders like Natsuki. A lot of this stuff that I've been asking for a long time. Dude, that panel, that shot we get the end of Samura's conflict with Chihiro, and you have that widespread of all the blade wielders versus the sword saying, ooh, Fire, fire, fire in the booth. People, listen, honestly, we haven't had a super long time to get attached to some of these characters, but Kagurabachi has this knack for getting us attached. Dude, there's so many people. Akuri is their favorite character. Chihiro, obviously, is one of my personal favorite characters. Obviously, go check out my video I had covering my favorite protagonists in modern shonen recently, you know, Yuji as well as Chihiro, and just how they maneuver their adversity and things of that nature. But there's so many questions that we still have yet to be posed. And are there things sometimes that are a little cliche? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Kudashige's involvement with the Enchanted Blades. Some people could have called that out like he probably made something and it corrupted somebody. Like, yeah, but obviously it's shonen. The genre has been around for so long. Sometimes it's going to be hard to surprise people. But Kagurabachi, I would say, though, obviously the biggest thing is art and the choreography as well as the story beats. The story beats, I feel like the pace is fairly good. Sometimes a little faster than I would like. Sometimes it's not as crazy, but I think it's good. The pacing has never felt bad. There is very little fluff in Kagurabachi. Thank God, thank God. I'm very curious to see when the anime drops, just how many people will flock to this fandom in droves as well. Like, is the anime gonna underperform? Is it gonna overperform? I have no idea. I really just think it depends. I genuinely think if they promote it hard enough, we could have like another Jujutsu Kaisen situation, man. I'm being serious. I think that it could take over if given enough push with the anime. If the anime is successful, Side Games cooks, which hopefully they will, I think that this anime could be something special, man. Oh my God, give me some What If movies too. Oh yes, give me some movie slot. Yes. Give me that. I need that. Just an excuse for good animation. I'll take it. I'll take two. I'm very curious to see how long Kagurabachi is going to go for as well, because we're already on year 2, but we still have 2 other blade wielders to meet, and we still have, Hirohiko's beef with Chihiro. They're not done. That's going to be Chihiro's arch nemesis for presumably a long time. I don't think Yuta's going to die in this conflict, this raid on the Kabunabi. I highly doubt it. Sword Saint's probably going to get out and do something. I don't know. I think a bomb just went off. By the way, is there any other manga that has had this much influence and this much push that has not had an anime? I don't think so. Off the top of my head, nothing really comes to mind, but I don't know. Like, dude, you get all this promotion with no anime, no video games, no light novels, no nothing, and we got 3 million copies sold. I don't know, gang. I don't know. It just might be that. It just might be that good. I don't know. One thing in addition as well is just how alluring the villains are. A lot of these villains, I think they are very charismatic in different ways. Sojo, he's this maniacal, evil, sadistic, horrible person, but he's also extremely intelligent. He's a mad scientist, but you don't see a lot of mad scientist characters actually willing to get in there and scrap, right? Because he could have easily just been a generic like assassin or just a battle hungry mongrel, but no, Soto wasn't like that. He had this compulsive obsession with these blades. And then you have Kiora, being this businessman dealing with the different side of these blades and teaching Chihiro a different lesson, narratively speaking. And then you have Hirohiko, trying to pin the blade wielders as these awful, terrible war criminals, and being a foil to Chihiro in a different light as well, and kind of learning about how Hirohiko's sexual trauma warped his perception of what a normal relationship was, and even how he interacts with Yuta and Chihiro and all these other Hishaku members and all these villains that we encounter in Kagurabachi. Samura as a villain, like they are all very compelling. None of these villains feel like fluff. They're all like A tier villains, solid. I want to see more of them on screen. They're all very engaging, which a lot of first time antagonists or beginning antagonists in series, sometimes they don't stick. Sometimes they're not as engaging. So I think that's also a very big part of why I think the anime will succeed, because most likely we'll be getting the end of the Rakuzaichi being the end of season 1 or core 2 rather. So you have Sojo as well as Kiora, very, very compelling villains. So yeah, if I had to make a guess just with Hokozono's work schedule and just modern mangaka expectations, I would probably say they're around 200 chapters, maybe. I don't think it's going to be a Kaiju number 9 situation. Number 8. Is number 9 or number 8? I keep wanting to say number 8. I don't think it's going to be a Kaiju number 9 situation where it's like super apparent that it is way too short and people were pissed off. I don't think so. I think Kagurabachi is probably going to be like 200 chapters, maybe 250, maybe. Because JJK ended at 274, 273. But we will see. But yeah, just 2 years of Kagurabachi. That's fab, dude. That's so cool. That's so cool, man. When did I think that, like, I was fully sold on this manga? Probably chapter 14 with Chihiro swiping his eye and get that super cinematic transition where he, he decides to actually, well, he doesn't decide, he manifests a new ability, right? Shred. Keep a cool, like that panel where he, he thinks of what Kunishige said to him and, keep a cool head. I love that. The Sojo versus Chihiro fight, absolutely phenomenal. I loved every single bit of the Samura versus Chihiro fight. I gotta reread that, actually. I'm probably gonna do that after this. I gotta read some more One Piece, but I gotta get back to that as well. Again, sorry for the lack of Kagurabachi videos. It's kind of twofold. The first thing is Shueisha's been up my ass about Kagurabachi. Well, three things. So I already got a copyright claim. I beat that, thankfully. But then also I'm kind of in the middle of a move as well, so things are kind of just hectic with recording and all that good stuff. So I apologize if this month is a little slower as far as recording. And then also the raid and the Kabunambi, I feel like there's not as much for me to talk about because these are very, very heavy action chapters, which is fine. I like the action. I love it. But there's not as much room for like theories and things of that nature. So I don't want to record stuff. I don't want to record. Not to say I don't want to talk about Kagurabachi, but that's why I feel like it's better for me to record it in 3 packs whenever I can. I know sometimes people don't like that, especially since they take longer to come out, but that's why I give you my reasons. I will still talk about Kagurabachi, obviously, whenever I see fit. I'm still paying attention to the manga. I still tweet about it and all this. So I don't want you guys to think that, oh, he's only talking about One Piece. He's only talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, no, I'm still locked in the community. I promise. But yeah, 2 years of Kagurabachi, man. That's absolutely insane. Wow. I'm so excited to see where the manga goes next. I hope to God Hokozono can get a break. I mean, these recent chapters are unfortunately, being so rough due to his intense schedule over the past month with everything. Dude, Shonen Jump cannot operate this way for the next 10 years. There's absolutely no way. You were running your young talents like this, dude. Like, imagine if Hokozono had like an actual breathable schedule. If he was on a bi-weekly to even like monthly schedule, he'd be cooking. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of Kagurabachi hitting its 2nd year. Do you guys think that'll last another 5 years? Think it's gonna last another 10 years? Do you guys think that we're actually coming up to the end of the manga? We're not, but if you do, let me know. Let me know. But yeah, it's your boy Dad. If you guys think so much for joining me on this video, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Y'all make sure you take care of yourselves, guys, and have a damn good one. Peace.